Tune into Nice Radio every Saturday at 7:30 a.m. for A View from the Outside, hosted by Brereton Horne. A View from the Outside takes a look at key issues affecting St. Vincent and the Grenadines and gives a global perspective on how these issues are viewed. Host Brereton Horne will examine a variety of topics to enlighten, stimulate debate, and explore solutions. Hear the facts, hear the real-life stories, hear A View from the Outside. Join Brereton Horne at 7:30 a.m. every Saturday on Nice Radio for A View from the Outside.
This society needs a spectacle. It might help us to see some evil. This society needs a spectacle.
Today is Saturday the 19th of August 2023. We are going to look at this topic, silence. And we covered this topic. We covered it, silence, on 2 occasions on this program. We covered it on the 21st of January 2017. And we covered it on the 20th of January 2018. And on each occasion, we talked about the docility in the main of the Vincentian people. We talked about it in the sense that Vincentian people are accepting and continue to accept with silence atrocity after atrocity in the country. With silence, the Vincentian people continue to accept injustice after injustice, victimization after victimization, wrong after wrong, cruelty after cruelty, and lie after lie. With silence, Vincentian people continue to accept all those things from the regime which exists in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Well, today, we again feel drawn to raise the topic because silence by the many seems to continue. Here, on this program, if you're from the outside, this morning, the 19th of August 2023, we raise a few points for consideration and for discussion. And we do so because we deeply recognize and acknowledge what the late Martin Luther King Jr. said over 60 years ago, when he said, the ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty of the bad people, but the silence over that of the good people. So that's what Martin Luther King said all those years ago. The tragedy, the final tragedy, is not the cruelty and oppression of the bad people, and we know who the bad people are, but it is the silence. It is the silence of the good people, those of you who call yourselves good people. If you remain silent over that oppression, over that cruelty, that is the ultimate tragedy. We say future generations will not forgive you for your deafening silence when you ought to be shouting from every rooftop in the country. People are gunned down in the streets en masse, and your silence is deafening. Nothing is heard from you. Women continue to be abused and beaten, even by men in positions of authority, in positions of power. And your silence seems to grow louder. Mothers are pouring out their souls, begging for your support, asking you to help them get justice for their murdered sons and daughters. Do you help, or is your silence deafening? These mothers need your help. These mothers need you to speak up and speak out for them. Break your silence. Farmers are reduced to being put on poor relief to survive. Their livelihood deliberately cut off, it seems. Do you speak up and speak out, Or is silence all people hear from you? Do you speak up and speak out? Or is your silence on farmers being made destitute deafening? Is that silence reverberating around the country? People are cruelly and callously made unemployed, deliberately put on the unemployment list, deliberately put on the breadline. They've been punished around you. What do you do about it? What do you say about it? Is silence all that you can give? Surely not. Those in the regime tell lie after lie to you. They lie about Huffle's Ranch at Brighton Beach. And they lie about the NIS. They lie about so many other things. Where is your voice on those issues? Silence is all that is heard from you. Do you really think that your silence helps? Are you one who feeds the crocodile, hoping that it will eat you last? If you do that, you can be assured that the crocodile will eventually eat you too. Break your silence. The NIS, the lifeblood of many in the country, the future of many in the country, has been milked like a cash cow for years by the regime. And for years, you sat in silence, saying or doing nothing about it. The milk is drying up. In fact, some people say the milk has dried up. But let's be generous and say that the milk is drying up and will be completely dried up soon. The NIS needs your voice. Are you going to break your silence on it? You know that if you continue to do or say nothing, the future generations of the country will never forgive you. It is your future. It is their future. They will never forgive you. Know that your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren will hold you responsible for your deafening silence on the issue. The NIS of St. Vincent and the Grenadines needs every Vincentian voice to speak up about it, to protest about it, to ensure that it is protected, if it's not too far gone. But you need to speak up. You need to end that deafening silence on the issue. Come on, Vincentians. It is time to break the silence. Don't just sit there and passively accept evil. Come on, Vincentians. Know that he who accepts evil without protesting against it is really cooperating with it. That's what Martin Luther King Jr. said all those years ago. Is that what you want your own legacy to be? One who cooperates with evil? We hope not. Come on, Vincentians. Do not allow yourselves to be remembered for the evil of others. Just remember the quote that we referenced earlier, where Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty of the bad people, but the silence over that of the good people." Until next week, this is Brereton Horne with A View from the Outside, with a reminder to send your feedback as usual to aviewfromtheoutside@hotmail.com. You can also get us on Facebook at A View from the Outside and on YouTube at A View from the Outside. Have a pleasant Saturday, everyone. Have a wonderful Sunday and have a productive week ahead.